All right, welcome to Healthy Together Time, everybody. I'm Bonnie Siolua. I am so stoked to be with you guys tonight. We hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving, and we hope that you're able to stick to your plan, whatever that might have looked like for you. I'm going to start my slides here really quick. All right, so for those of you who maybe had a little bit too much pie over Thanksgiving, you might be feeling like this Santa on the left here. And for those of you watching podcast playback, there's a picture of a before and after Santa, and the before picture is a little unhealthy Santa, and the after picture is a ripped Santa with abs. So put a 1 in the chat if you are feeling like the Santa on the left, no judgment. I had a little too much pie myself. Or if you are feeling like the Santa on the right, put a 2 in the chat. Like I said, no judgment. The best thing to do is to not beat your 1.5. I love it. Not beat yourself up and just get right back on track. And there's no use dwelling in the past, right? So keep moving forward. And if you, we want to celebrate the little wins, maybe shift your thinking of what went right. And what you learned from, this past holiday. Either way, we're going to learn some awesome tips tonight that are going to help you feel your best for the next month moving forward, and not just during the holidays, but every day. And we're all busy, and this next month seems to get a little busier, and it can be tricky to stick to your workout regimen, even for those who are at an awesome habit of working out. We are all prone to sliding off track. We're human. And especially if you're in Utah, if you're working out outside and the weather switches, you can, you might have to rebuild that habit of working out indoors. So, there's different things obstacles that always come up in our way. But there's ways we can sneak in exercise. So like a secret Santa is sneaky. We're going to give you some awesome tips to help you sneak in some exercise and keep up your movement and your exercise. So for those of you who are new, we're going to just recap our 4 components really quick. And for those of you who are seasoned, I love learning by repetition. So I'm just going to repeat these. If you've heard them before, it's always good hearing them again. But we have the 4 components of our system, and it's like a chair, right? If we sit down on a chair with one leg, we're going to tip over. We've got to have all 4 of these to have that true lifestyle change. So the first one is having a coach. I know for me, I could have never have done this on my own. I needed accountability and support. And we all have coaches. If you aren't getting support, you have a, oh, sorry, there's boxes on my slides here.
But I'll mute it. We can listen through yours.
Okay. Is that better? No? The boxes? Okay. Let me see if I can minimize these. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure how to get those boxes off. Sorry, guys. So the second component, the second leg of our chair is our habits of health system. We need the education to rewire our habits. We can't just automatically rewire them on our own. We need the mindset tools to learn and educate ourselves to do something different. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We have to rewire our brain using our education system. The third leg of our component is our community. Some of the top of the line, most salt of the earth people you will ever meet. The human craves connection, and in our community, we lift each other up. We are truly authentic and love on each other and help each other grow. If you've never been to an event, you're missing out. You will get a taste of you get a tiny taste of our community here versus an event. So if there's an event in your area, try to get to one. And then our fuelings, the fourth component. For me, I love not having to meal prep. And, it's like, I love, for people who say, I love meal prepping 7 times a day and cooking all my meals, said no one ever. It's like you can either wash your clothes by hand or throw them in the dishwasher or throw them in the washing machine. And for me, we're all busy and we're just going to keep getting busier. So it just takes out that decision fatigue and gives you that fuel right at your fingertips. Makes it super easy. So, all right, well, I'm going to kick it over to my amazing husband, Yella. He's going to go over some awesome tips for you guys.
I'm super excited to talk about NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And Dr. A, this is found in element 17. And Dr. A talks about how this just consists of the voluntary and unconscious movements that we make throughout the day. And why I love this so much is because last December, I slipped on the ice and fell on my back and hurt my back really bad. And I was telling Jared, I was like, man, I am falling out of some bad habits because I'm blaming that I can't go to the gym. And so what kind of helped me throughout this whole year was implementing the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just easier to say, NEAT. And Dr. A kind of breaks this up into 6 different categories. And so the first one is stance. Second, standing. Third is strolling. Fourth is stairs. Fifth is samba. And sixth is switch. And they all start with S, so it makes it super easy to remember. And anybody with a bad back can understand like how your stance is going to improve your back. And so I noticed that while I'm sitting, focusing on my core position, I mean, obviously we're all going to start noticing our own posture, and I'm trying to sit up nicely because of my poor posture. But it's just adding that 2 additional minutes per day where you're improving your posture. You can burn a couple more 10 to 30 more calories each day, as every time that you remember, okay, I got to work on my posture. Let me focus in on this. And the next one, if I can get the next slide. Oh yeah, setting reminders and stuff like that. And I'm actually sitting on my my balance ball. What is that called? The ball that I sit on. Anyways, next one, standing. I should be standing while I'm on this Zoom, but I'm sitting on this ball because this selfie stick doesn't reach very high. But taking the time to stand when we find ourselves that we're sitting a lot. And a lot of times we find we're sitting on the couch, sitting at the table, sitting in our cars all the time. We're always sitting. And so anytime that we can make ourselves stand up, any chance we get, we can burn more calories. Doing the dishes, cooking dinner, phone calls. I'm usually sitting on the couch or sitting on my chair when I'm doing my phone calls, which I switched to standing. People have a standing desk on treadmills to help them stand throughout the day. So that's a great way to utilize NEAT. And the next one is strolling. You know, just any type of getting out and walking, because all these parts of NEAT is outside of our exercise, our routine. And so I like to park far away as I can. For me and my sons, when we're at Costco, they like to sit in the cart while I run down each aisle when there's nobody in the aisles. So it's a fun thing. And then when we go back outside to the car, we run as fast as we can to the cart with the cart. But it helps me to get my heart rate up, run. When we're at church and when we're leaving church or going inside a church, for some reason everything's a race. So we're racing to the door or racing to the car, which just helps us to get those extra steps in each week. And the next one is stairs. I mean, obviously, we all know that taking a flight of stairs is so much better for you. I mean, obviously, a lot of people like to take the elevator or the escalator, but as in element 17, Dr. A talks about, if you walking up 10 flights of stairs, it's like almost walking a mile. And so just another way to look at burning calories in our everyday life that can add up throughout the whole year. And the next one is, can we get the next slide? Samba. And every night, my wife loves to play music with Alexa or Google, and her and my boys love to dance. She goes to Zumba classes, and she'll come home and she'll show our sons her Zumba moves. And this is outside of her workout, so she's coming home additionally, just having that fun time with the boys, dancing. I like to sing in the car when I'm all by myself, get my heart raising, my heart rate going up. But music just enhances your emotion to get up and move. So I say just throw in more music into your life and start dancing, even though if you're not good at it. Everybody is a great dancer, whether they think they are or not. And the last one is switch. Just switching simple things that we do. Making our bed, shoveling the snow, walking the dog. A lot of us use electric devices to help us make things easier. But what if we kind of just did more things manual? Like, for example, watch this. Hey, Google, what's the weather like outside?
Currently in South Jordan, it's 40 degrees and clear. Tonight,
hey, Google, stop. But
But
that's the point that I'm making. Why can't I just walk outside and see how cold it is outside? And so now I stopped asking Alexa or Google, and I just walk. I just walk right outside and see what the temperature is like. And so that's just an easy way to switch whatever electronic things that we can do. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to go wash my laundry by hand, but the simple things that we can do to help us burn more calories, because adding these neat activities throughout the day on top of our exercise, we can burn more calories each day, and that adds up throughout the rest of the year. And it's no secret that when you come to the end of the year and you're using these neat this neat system to burn 300 calories, you could be down 20 to 30 pounds at the end of the year just from maintaining your healthy lifestyle, eating right, and adding these extra burn calories each day. Because it's super easy. I mean, let's say you can't out exercise your bad diet, but you can't out exercise your sedentary lifestyle. And that's why I love this neat system so much, because it's helped me with my back to continue to stay physically active. Thanks, Bon.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing all that. And this is also in your Habits of Health book. On Dr. A's Habits of Health page, starts about page 347, I believe. And he also goes over EAT. So it's basically exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is, this is what you call working out: gym classes, jogs, triathlons, CrossFit, anything that you plan on, your specific plan time, and it's ranging in intensity. You can increase your energy expenditure more than you can with doing EAT, and you improve your overall fitness, and obviously optimize your cardiovascular health, your stronger bones, stronger muscles. But for the mass majority of people, EAT is negligible. So EAT only works if you work it, and very few do. And it takes less than 2% of our time each week to get an exercise. So that makes it a less effective way to burn energy consistently. So, and even heavy exercise can make you want to eat more. I know if I run, I get starving and ravenous. And so Dr. A found that NEAT is actually far better at burning those calories consistently throughout the day versus exercising when we get to it. And but it's a good, obviously, we want to work up to that heavy exercise and make it a habit. You know, it's all about ingraining these little habits, but we have to build up to it. So if you haven't worked out and started an exercise routine, start with NEAT. Think of it this way. So EAT is like your graduate school, and then NEAT is like your prerequisites. So you have to set that foundation and build up. and get into that habit. And then we have the sedentary lifestyle, and this is called the sitting disease. Causes cardiovascular disease, excess weight gain, low energy, muscle atrophy, depression. And our society's decreased activity levels has a lot to do with this shift because there's more desk jobs. People are working from home. You get DoorDash delivered to your door, and we have remotes rather than getting up to turn the channel back in the olden days. We just have all these myriad of labor saving devices that cause us to just be sitting all the time. There was a study done, and Dr. A put this in the book as well, in The Habits of Health, that astronauts, some of the most fittest people in the world, would lose about 20% of their muscle mass when they'd go to space. And this was just after 5 to 11 days. So in a short period of time, because they were subject to not having that gravity. So much like, or subject to gravity, sitting in the desk is like, it takes away that anti-gravity and your muscles are less likely to be working. So like your quads, your back, your neck, your calf muscles. And so the more we're sitting, our muscles are atrophying. And it might be helpful to track the total time out through your day that you're sitting, and maybe come up with what neat exercises you can incorporate while you are sitting during the day, like Yella just went over. So we're going to take a quick poll in the chat. So if you are, and this is just facing current reality, and it's where you're at. So if you are incorporating some NEAT already, put a 1 in the chat. If you are awesome at your EAT, you've got a consistent workout routine, go ahead and put a 2. And if you are the sedentary sitter, go ahead and put a 3. And like I said, it's just awesome to say, you know what, this is where I'm at, or what you want to work on more. I love that. So that's the whole point of this. So I want to kick it over to my friend Crystal Donaldson. She's going to share a few minutes on how NEAT and exercise has helped her. So Crystal, go ahead.
Thanks, Bonnie. So I'm really excited to be able to share a little bit with you tonight, because when I came into Optavia, I was the type of person that and this is me on the left, I worked out 6 days a week. And this picture on the left wasn't even me when I started my Optavia journey. I was about 20 pounds, 20, 25 pounds heavier than that picture that you see on the left when I started, but I didn't take very many pictures of myself at that point. But I was the type of person that I was exercising 6 days a week. I was trying to count my calories. I have thyroid disease, which makes it really difficult to lose weight, for those of you who have heard of that. And so I was working out like a crazy person. I would do 2 a day. I'd work out in the morning and then again at night. And I do that at least 3 days a week. And then the other 6 days of the week, I was working out as well. And I was getting results, but I was really hungry all the time. I was really exhausted all the time, and my results were really slow. And eventually I got to this point where I just hit the wall, and I couldn't lose any more weight. And that's when I found Optavia. And this was a big deal for me, because going from working out 6 days a week to having my coach tell me I needed to take a break from exercise I freaked out a little bit inside. I was like, no, I can't. Like, that's what I do, right? And so this was really difficult for me, but I did take about a week off. And it was a really good lesson for me, because although I did work out consistently for the rest of my Optavia journey, and talk to your coach about how you can do that, by the way, you don't just work out like a crazy person on the 5-in-1. You'll feel like you're going to die. But you can incorporate it. There are plans for that. And for me, that was an important habit to continue. But the thing I learned that Optavia taught me was that it was important to understand how to manage your weight with your mindset and your nutrition. Because guess what? Life happens. You get injured, you get sick. The gym's closed, right? 2020 was a really good year for us in Optavia, because we had all these people who would use exercise as a crutch for their weight. They didn't know how to balance their nutrition well. They didn't know how to manage their emotions. And so 2020 hit, and they were freaking out. They were, oh, I've gained 10 pounds or I've gained 20 pounds. And because they didn't know that. And so you are so lucky, because you have a system. If you are one of our clients, you have a system that teaches you not only how to manage your weight with good movement, like Bonnie was talking about, but also with a healthy mindset. learning how to manage your emotions and learning how to do these little things to move your body more in a way that if the gym closes or you get sick or you get injured, you're not going to gain all your weight back. Isn't that cool? But the important thing about that to remember is that you have to get in your book, right? You got to get in your education system, and you got to get on meetings like this every week to learn those things, to be able to start implementing them. And so that was a really big deal for me. So I went from working out 6 days a week, like a psycho, two times a day sometimes, to I work out for about 30 minutes a day. I try to work out at least 4 days a week and move my body every day, even if it's just a walk or dancing while I'm cleaning or whatever it is, because I've learned that with Optavia. But I've learned that I can manage my weight with my exercise, and exercise can be a joy for me. It's not a punishment for what I eat anymore. And that's another huge shift for me, was understanding that I can enjoy exercise. It's not a punishment. You know, what do I like doing? Do I like to do Zumba? Do I like to lift weights? You know, what's fun for me? And that's become a challenge for me, is to learn what I love. And so that'll be fun. A fun part of your journey is learning, what do I enjoy doing to move my body? What brings me joy? And so that's a fun part of this, is learning that exercise isn't a punishment. It's a celebration of what your body can do. And I want to be that grandma at 80 that's hiking with my grandkids. I don't want to be sitting in a recliner waiting for my next doctor's appointment to get my high blood pressure and high cholesterol meds. I don't know about you. That's not a life I want. And so I'm so thankful that Optavia taught me all of these skills and tools.
Oh, awesome, Crystal. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, and also when you think about it, we need some of these lower impact exercises when we're older, in our 80s and 90s, because running marathons and doing CrossFit isn't very sustainable in our 90s. So that's what I love about NEAT, is any age, anybody can do this. And here's some crazy statistics. 1 in 5 adults in the US take part in exercise each day. 23% of adults do the recommended amount of aerobic and muscle strength training activity a week. 117 billion of healthcare costs are associated with low levels of physical activity, and 11 hours, the amount of time the average American spends on their health and fitness regimen each week, which I doubt that is. I bet it's lower than that. I bet people lied on they thought they exercised 3 days a week, but they probably only ended up exercising 1. And then this is crazy. So men are more active than women by this percentage there. The average most active group is between 18 to 34. And 11.8% of people living in poverty meet the exercise standard. And another crazy statistic is, let's see, I have it written here. I already shared that. So yeah, as far as like, if this is you in the poverty, that's why our trilogy of optimal health is so important. So stick around after, we're going to learn a little bit more about that, to go over why our healthy finances, healthy mind, and healthy body play such an important part in each other. And then children's fitness, only 24% of children participate in 60 minutes of physical activity each day. So these are kind of some eye-opening statistics, and they don't lie. You know, we're just not getting enough movement and exercise, and we're just getting more and more lazy as a society. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to my friend Sarah to share her story about her exercise journey. So Sarah, go ahead and take it away.
Bonnie, you reminded me when you were talking about Alexa and Siri today. My 8-year-old Dax was laying on the couch and he's like, "Hey, Disney, find the movie Limitless." And I was like, "Oh, we can do that?" And our TV turned right to that movie. I mean, even I noticed, like, gosh, at 8, he does not even have to move to get something he wants. I'm excited to share. My name's Sarah Judkins, and I'm a certified Optavia coach. And I'm always touched when I'm thought of to share, and kind of specifically the story that my family's gone through this year. In May of this year, my husband was traveling on an old 89 old freeway up towards Brigham City, and he was hit on his motorcycle. And his body was thrown 30 feet and spent a couple of weeks in the ICU, several surgeries, almost a couple months in the hospital, and literally turned our lives upside down. And honestly, I feel like I kind of lost everything that I had going on in my life at the time, where I have taught group fitness and been a personal trainer for 25 years. I completely stopped exercising. I wasn't sleeping anymore. I was eating mounds of crumble cookies at 2 a.m. as I stumbled in from the hospital, and would sleep at night on top of my bed in my shoes, fully clothed. And it was just a time in my life that, I mean, obviously I never expected. And it's been such a blessing, because what I've gained and what I've realized that I had, I took for granted. And exercise was by far one of those things. Like I said, I stopped working out, and I knew I needed to do that. I knew I needed to move my body, but I could not connect my mindset to my body to make it happen. And you guys, I was so scared to start going to exercise classes again, or getting back in the gym. And I gained 25 pounds. I became completely, really inactive in those months that passed. And the thought of stepping into a gym again, I just couldn't face it. And I finally got a glimpse of what it must feel like for people to walk into a gym when they haven't exercised. I totally and completely can relate to that. But I got to the point where I had to make a change. And so I did what I know how to do. And that was call my coach and call a trainer. And I'm a trainer myself, but coaches need coaches and trainers need trainers. And that kind of support that I knew that I would get from other coaches as they rallied around me to get this back in my life completely has changed, the momentum that I have picked up from just going back to exercise. And I've never been one to count my steps. I never tracked that on my watch. I thought it was silly. I was like, what could 10,000 steps, do? And my trainer was like, well, every day you have to get in 10,000 steps. And I was like, really, dude, I really have to track my steps. And he was like, you are going from, a very inactive lifestyle to an active lifestyle. And the benefits of walking are going to blow your mind. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to commit to that. I'm going to have faith in that. I was always one that would watch people on the treadmill and think, are they even working out? Because in my mind, like Crystal said, I would kill myself in the gym or, teach classes. And I was working out the other day, and I was pulling a chest fly on those cable machines. So I was pulling, kind of leaning into the fly and pulling against the cable machine. And in front of the cable machine are mirrors on the walls. And I was wearing a tank top, and it was pretty tight. And gosh, I saw rolls going down my abs. My arms just felt flabby, looked flabby. And I looked in the mirror, and for the first time ever, I said to myself, I am so proud of you for showing up. And instead of ripping myself apart, self-sabotaging myself into failure and months of being inactive, how could a group fitness, trainer walk into a gym and be this out of shape? And I told myself that day, I am done. I am done wrecking myself. I am done not showing up for myself. I don't care how humbling this is going to be for me, but I have 4 sons, and I have to show up for them. I have to show them that their mom can get through hard things, and their mom can show up in her life, because they know I have struggled. They know that I have not been myself. And I felt this massive pull, to get back into my Optavia community because I knew those are the people who lift me up. Those are the people that carry me and are on the same journey as me. Maybe not obviously my exact fitness goals, but they know that we are all moving in the same direction together. And it's been pretty awesome to process those emotions and rely on the power and the research of Optavia that I just had complete faith in. So I've jumped back on the 5-in-1. You guys, in a week, I am telling you, in a week, I completely feel different. I move different. I'm sleeping different. And my exercise is going back. I mean, contrary to unpopular belief, I guess, you know, where we hear you can't exercise on the 5-in-1. I know we've all heard that, right? And our bodies are king. And when you are truly in the 5-in-1 plan, your body will pull from fat stores for energy, right? And being hungry, we have to remember it is an emotion. It is something that as Americans, we just automatically feed with food, right? With all of our emotions, whether we're happy, sad, tired, depressed, we mindlessly eat. I can't remember exactly what elements it is in, but about 75% of the time Americans eat, they're not hungry. So I have been able to really pull back and feel so many emotions and rely on listening to my body and giving what it needs. And it has been so powerful in my life to have this program. I've said it over and over. I said it to Bonnie. I have no idea. I have no idea where I would be if I didn't have Optavia and if I didn't have a plan to fall back on and people to fall back on and to feel the support and the love of all the people around me. Thanks, Bonnie, for letting me share.
So awesome, Sarah. Thank you so much for sharing your heart. So many truth bombs in there. And you guys, this is what it's all about. Community. We're doing this together. We're all imperfect people just trying to become better. So join us next week for our webinar. Our topic is discovering success during the holidays. So some more good tips. So join us next week. And we have 2 breakout rooms or 2 breakout sessions right after this. So feel free to stick around. And for those of you who want more information on how to be 500% more likely to reach and maintain a healthy weight long-term, and reaching into your community more and bringing others along with you, improving your healthy finances, stay in this room. And then we're going to have a breakout session for those who new coaches are wanting to do their coaching quick start. We'll begin that in just a second. So thank